Hey guys, wanted to show you a quick comparisons between the Losi SCBE, the Losi 10MT, and also my Losi 8 buggy. My Losi 8 buggy was actually a nitro that was converted to electric. So right off the bat, you guys probably can't see it from there, but if I show you a bird's eye view of it, you'll see that the SCBE is actually longer than my 8 scale buggy, which was surprising to me because I thought it would actually be the same size, and it's longer than the 10MT as well. That's surprising to me as well because just looking at these, briefly looking at them on the web, I thought that they would be the same platform, just one or two minor differences, but there are some differences between the two. But let me go ahead and first start off with the Losi 8 scale buggy versus the SCBE. You guys see the chassis layouts are somewhat similar. The SCBE does not come with an enclosed case here to protect your receiver and servo from getting dirt and grime, but with this body coming down, it'll do a good job protecting that stuff. Whereas the 8 scale buggy, of course, comes with this to be protected here. Drive lines are somewhat similar. They both use a 40-tooth spur gear, and they both use 16-tooth pinion gears. But there are some differences because I did look at as far as the differential in the rear drive line for this car compared to this here. You can't really see it too much there, but on the 10 scale buggies, there is a difference. So you couldn't really just buy an 8 scale gearbox and try to put it on this 10 scale one or vice versa, because it's really not going to work. They are different in the two, and the gear ratio is probably different as well. I think the 8 scale may have a taller gear ratio in there, especially in the differential and stuff. So those two wouldn't be compatible. Now, if you wanted, you could get the whole gearbox front and rear from the 8 scale and put on a 10 scale, but it'll be fine just like it is now. As far as center drive shafts, that's loose. I might have to tighten that up. Those seem to be similar. Looking at that and then comparing this here. So as far as where the ESC mounts, it's surprising that this is mounted in the back, considering that this is a little bit longer, but it's probably because of this cage has to mount down. The ESC would run into that there. So placing this here is fine. They both come with metal chassis. This is actually a 5mm because this was the nitro version. But I mean, as other things comparisons, shock towers, they look to be almost similar as well. I wouldn't bet money on a direct replacement because you see how the front shock tower is actually a little bit higher than this one here. This is lower, so that body can actually house and fit over top of it. But anyway, that's a quick comparisons with those. And as far as the 10MT goes, you guys see that there is a major difference here between the two. Of course, the 10MT's battery mounts from the bottom. You see the chassis is a lot different. This chassis is plastic compared to this chassis being metal, which would show you why the cost difference is there as well. This is about $100 more than this one, and of course the bodies as well. One thing I was curious about, which I don't know is probably gonna work, is if you purchased either one of these and wanted to convert one to the other. You see on the rear the way those body mounts are, and you see the way this is here on the SCBE. So if you wanted to buy this and try to convert it to this, I'm not 100% sure that's going to work, because I think you're going to have this body running into certain components on here, like the way this battery and stuff mounts in here, unless you customize it and actually cut that out and try to build something to close and keep that battery down on it. As far as drive lines go, they are similar, except for this has somewhat of a CVA style rear drive shaft here, where this one's just a direct dog bone. And you guys know I had problems with this at first because this grub screw came loose, and if that's not adjusted correctly, you will have problems, and you'll see that in my review of this, the 10MT as well. Other differences, of course, the way the servo and everything is mounted here and the way it's mounted here. They're mounted basically in the same position, but you see the receiver is not enclosed in a receiver box here to keep any dust and grime out. You'll also see the way the motor mounts are. This, actually, you have to put the motor in there and screw the screws here and there. Whereas with the SCBE, which I kind of like this design, I wish they would did this with the 10MT. You can buy the metal piece for that, but now you're spending more money. Where you just remove one screw, you can pull it out or readjust it the different pinion, which makes it a lot easier and quicker because you don't have to get an Allen key and try to get that last screw that's underneath there out. So I think that that's a great design thing they did with that as well. You see this has one plastic piece that actually comes across the very top of it. Here, the SCBE does not have that, but it does have these plastic chassis braces here. And you see the 8 scale version has that as well, and the front and the rear. So don't think those will actually fit on there because that does look to be constructed a little bit differently. Other differences, of course, tire size. This comes with 14mm hexes. This comes with 12. I hate it that they did that. I know why they would do it, but I don't like it that they did it because it just makes your tire choices a lot more difficult. As you see, I have some 10 scale or some 12mm hexes on there. As far as width is concerned, they are, roughly the same width. These tires are a little bit wider offset that I have on my 10MT. But of course, with the stock ones on the 10MT, it's going to be a lot wider, of course. They come with they both come with the same power systems as well. But if you guys were going to pick between the two, it's going to depend on really the look that you want, because both of these perform really, really well. But you will have to spend money on the 10MT to make this just a little bit more user-friendly, I should sort of say. You can see that in my final thoughts and reviews of this truck here. So anyway, just wanted to show this to you guys so you guys can get a feel of kind of what Losi was doing here. Although the designs are somewhat similar, they're not the same as some other companies. They just kind of put a different body on a car and call it something different. They don't really change the design that much. But what Losi did here was, between these two especially, even though the platform is somewhat similar, they're not the same exact car. So they didn't just take this MT body and put it on here or vice versa or whatever, just to make one a buggy and one a truck. This isn't really a monster truck. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. Put your comments below. Don't forget to like or dislike, subscribe if you have not, and stay tuned for more videos.